Well, Metro Exodus is in crisis mode, for one thing. Anyway, so we're talking about Metro Exodus, the fallout from their sudden exclusivity to Epic 3 weeks before launch, I believe. It's about how many weeks it is till it launches. Anyway, and Epic is in quite the shitstorm at the moment. Or Epic, I'm sorry, Metro is in a shitstorm at the moment. And it got very messy very quickly. And I guess we're just going to go through this real quick, see what they got to say, give my opinion, all that good stuff. That's how this works, right? So let's do this. Fallout from Metro Exodus Epic Game Store's exclusivity gets messy. No shit. Anyway, the fallout from the Metro Exodus Epic Game Store exclusivity deal continues, and it is getting very messy indeed. The latest development saw the publisher of Metro Exodus ask angry fans not to focus their upset at the developer of the game. Deep Silver issued a statement over the weekend in response to an impassioned comment from one of the developers of the game about the anger from some of the Metro Exodus will not be sold on Steam despite being available for pre-order on Valve's platform for some time. So, what exactly happened? Alright, so you've got Metro Exodus. It's a single-player game, anticipated, coming up, looks good, you know, all that good stuff. People pre-order it. They've pre-ordered it on Steam for the most part, and I'm sure there's been pre-orders on Epic as well. I just haven't looked into them. But because of the Epic Store, which is something I was talking about in a previous video with Epic versus Steam, people are going to go to the Epic Store exclusively due to the fact that they get more money back from selling over on that platform. Both of them are PC platforms, of course. But yeah. Anyway, point is, Metro, about 3 weeks prior to its release, decided that it was only going to be selling it exclusively on the Epic Game Store, even though it has pre-orders already on the Steam front. And then they also said, we will go ahead and honor our Steam front sales, and they're going to still give you the game through Steam, through the pre-orders. But it's not going to, from there, it's not going to be available on Steam. So if somebody new comes around afterwards, after it launches, they're only going to be able to come over to Epic and get it, which, you know, is a pain, but that's how this is going down. It's going to go down like this with a lot of things if Steam doesn't step up their game and counter what Epic has to offer in terms of giving developers something better. But anyway, the recent decision to move Metro from the Steam to Epic Game Store was made by Koch Media / Deep, which is a publisher. Gosh, now I can't even think of who the hell that is. Anyway, point is, they made the decision to go ahead and go over to the Steam, or the Epic Store instead of Steam, and not the developers of the game. They don't have any say in it. So let's go through this. We're gonna try and make this a quick video. I got a lot of stuff to do today, like work. Anyway, the 4A Game staff member who goes by the username CNET, is it CNET on website gamer.nu wrote, if all PC players announced a boycott of Metro, then the next Metro, if it does happen, is definitely not on the PC. The unnamed 4A Game staff member called the reaction to Epic Game Store deal from some as hardly adequate. It seems that people did not want to play, just wanted for a reason to pour out their bile, they said. It turns out that we, the developers, for years have been hard and painful. We lose trying to do something special, but at certain categories, players believe that our work is not worth even a couple of minutes to install the launcher. Naturally, it is their life and their right. But then, what do they care about the Metro? Obviously, it's not interesting to them. I can only say that they were not our players either. They are not interested in our work, which means that, for example, the opinion of such people is not interesting for me either, which is the point for me, personally, and not only to listen to their opinion. Some Metro fans have taken to review bombing previous Metro games on Steam in a bid to show their discontent at X's leaving the platform. Metro 2033 Redux, for example, has a very positive user label for all reviews, but mostly negative for recent reviews. The most helpful reviews in the past 30 days and the whole negative comments about Metro ditching Steam for the Epic Game Store. Ow. Sorry about that. Anyway, so that's a lot right here. And, you know, to be honest, for a frustrated developer, I don't blame them. However, I think I would have done things a little differently. One, I wouldn't have jumped to the Epic Game Store after it was already available for Steam. I would put it on both storefronts. This way it caters to everybody. Secondly, the next Metro game, if I wanted to put it on the cheaper platform, yes, I would move it to Epic. It's not really that big of a deal to move it to Epic. Thirdly, I do get where he's coming from. I know you're probably expecting me to ream this guy for what he said, and I think it was a poor move. Definitely a poor move on this developer to do what he's done, especially in this current climate. But I do understand it takes just a few minutes to install, you know, another launcher. It sucks. It's another launcher. I got it. I have plenty of launchers, it looks like. I've got the Blizzard launcher. I have the Origin launcher, which I rather not have, but have to if I want to play any of the Sims games. I have the Steam launcher. I have a launcher for Final Fantasy. I have a launcher for Star Wars. I have a launcher for that other game that I've played once in a blue moon, Star Trek. I have multiple launchers on my system, and I would assume other gamers probably have multiple launchers as well. One more launcher, what's the big deal at that point? And I do have to go with, you know, I don't see the problem. I really do not see the problem downloading the Epic Game Store and using that. Unless it's just a company you really don't want to deal with for whatever reason, like for instance me and Origin. I hate the fact that I have to have the Origin launcher to play any of the Sims games. I'm a huge fan of the Sims. I like SimCity, I like the Sims. But in order for me to properly play them, with the exception of The Sims 3, which I got on Steam a long time ago, before there was really an Origin launcher, you know, it works better with that launcher, believe it or not. But those are games specifically on their platform. But you know, I hate the fact that I have to have that launcher, but I understand I've got to if I want to play some of the games, because I'm not going to find them anywhere else. And with the whole Epic entering this, you know, dominion here, stepping on Steam's toes, it's definitely going to gain some exclusivities, and this is the second exclusivity deal that they've gotten since their big announcement of having this storefront. And I expect fully more to go in that way. However, I do have a problem with this, is the fact that you know, they originally was on the Steam and then jumped ship 2 weeks or 3 weeks prior to launch, and like, oh, by the way, we're only available on Epic now. And I have issues with the Epic storefront as well. Like for instance, down here, you know, you can see these reviews. Most helpful review, not recommended. You've got, you know, somebody has typed in 2 fingers up and that sort of thing, Epic Store, in there as well. And they're airing their grievances. You know, when it really comes down to this, if somebody's going to buy a game and they go to these reviews and stuff, for the most part, any normal, sane individual of this game can go through and read several reviews and go, okay, this is a review bomb, or whatever it is, or they've got grievances with this, but let's find a review that actually talks about the game. And they'll go through and look for something that actually gives them something about the game, to whether or not it was good or bad. It's the onus on the user at that point to look and see what it is. And a lot of people want to put this onto the storefronts themselves and go, no, it's Steam's responsibility to curate their reviews or something, or to make sure the best ones are always at the top. And I don't agree with any of that. But this is some of the also bigger differences with the Epic Game Store versus Steam, where Steam has a lot more features to it that Epic's does not have, and probably won't have. Like, for instance, the ability to review a game. It's one of the biggest things that I like about the Steam storefront, is the fact that I can look at user reviews, people who have actually played the game, and I can go through, and I've seen them in the past where somebody has given a negative review and gone through this, that, and the other, none of it have anything to pertain to the game. And then I'm like, okay, well, that wasn't helpful. Next. Okay, this one's telling me about the game. Oh, well, that doesn't sound that fun at all. Okay, let's find another one real quick. Okay, that one's favorable. Still doesn't sound all that great. It doesn't sound like something I want to play, and then I'll pass it up. Or, vice versa. It's got good praise and all that good stuff. I'm like, well, you know what? I want to give that a shot. Looks good here. Look up a YouTube video or something of somebody playing it. Looks good. Looks sound. Alright, I'll go play. It's not that hard. Epic, however, doesn't have that function. They're giving the developers the choice to whether or not they can have ratings on it. And what developer, especially in this day and age, is going to give anybody the ability to review their game on the storefront? They're not going to. But anyway, so back to the story at hand. You've got this developer who has gone on to a tirade about how they're not going to develop any more games on the PC side, and that's fine. Okay, whatever. It's one developer. It doesn't mean they're going to actually cut it out. And I can understand people's anger at that is the best way to put it. You're going to threaten us not to make another one for the PC? Okay. I'm not so much understanding of the anger of swapping from Steam to Epic. I mean, I would have done it before I started launching pre-orders on Steam. That's a given. That was where they failed at this. If they would have just immediately started this over on the Epic store, launching pre-orders, didn't even touch Steam, go, by the way, it's only available on Epic, you're going to ruffle some feathers, of course. But it's still ultimately going to be available on the PC front for players to play. It'd be a different story if, say, oh, by the way, this game is only available on PS4 and PS4 only. Well, every other title has been available across the board or something. That would definitely ruffle some feathers, and I would be pretty much, outraged about that as well. I'd be upset too. It's like, especially if I had played the previous games on the PC or something, and then suddenly you're going to PS4 exclusively. That makes no sense. You're cutting out a huge chunk of people who've played your games across all platforms just for one platform. But when it comes to the PC, it's just a matter of swapping to a different launcher. And then again, apparently, supposedly, it is going to come back to the Steam front like a year from now anyway, and you're going to get it dirt cheap at that point. It is a single-player game, and these games don't exactly hold up price-wise, unless it's something really, really outstanding, or it's a Nintendo game, for a first-party Nintendo game for a new hardware. Generally, it's not going to sit there and hold at the $60 price tag. It's going to come down pretty quickly. But you know, the idea of going off on your fans like that and say, well, you know what, fine, you want to be that way? We're not making any more PC games. That's an issue. You know, that's where you shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have done that. And you should have been more just like, yeah, we're sorry. Not our fault. We have no control over this. We're not the ones who chose to do this. It was these guys over here. They are forcing us over onto the Epic Store, and they won't let us release on the Steam Store. We sorry. You know, like they're doing now. Would have been a lot better, because you've got that Metro Exodus tweet where they've pretty much like, look, we didn't make this decision. Here's who did. You want to get angry? Go piss in their cornflakes, not ours. We didn't do it. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot to go in here. Some of it I don't have a problem with it. Some of it I do. I mean, I understand. It's not that I don't have a problem, but you also, developers, you can't do that. You just can't just lash out at the customer base like that and say, fine, we ain't doing anything for you. It's as bad as don't like it, don't buy it. People aren't going to buy your game. They're going to cancel their pre-orders over stuff like that. And then you're going to be sitting there on a bad quarter four, or first quarter, earnings rate, and people are going to go, why didn't this go? Well, this should have been a slam dunk. What happened? It's because of one guy or girl who decided to rail against their fans because they were angry about something. Anyway, what do y'all think down in the comments below? Let me know on all of this, because there's a lot to go through. Heck, I didn't even go through it all. I just kept going on about the Epic, Steam, this developer, what they said, and other things. Let me know down in the comments below. Until then, I will talk to you later. See ya.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.